The underground. What is going on, everybody? Here on this New Year's Eve. Get a mic check right at the gate. God is good. God is great. Thank you, Hitman, for the feedback. And Brian. Walk with God. Much love. Good to see Mayhem. Patrick, thank you. E. Fitz, Minx, Gabe, Hoodie Ross. The Judge with us. Steve, thank you so much. MC Dirty. Stealth Mode. Cat Slave, Sheepdog, Flippin' House, Daily Survival, thank you for sharing the stream. I appreciate that to the fullest. In my book, you earn stripes. Fighting the fight out there. That's a pretty simple thing to do. Share the stream, get it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. And not a whole lot of people do it. So I appreciate the people that do it. Got a lot to cover tonight. Thank you, Money Mike. As you can see in the title, I've always got more to cover than what I can fit in the title. Much love, G. Yeah, it's. I hope you guys had a good time with family here recently. Family, friends, or just some peace of mind. We're getting ready to roll into 2025, 2024. It's just flown by. This will be essentially the last stream of the year. The next one scheduled for the first. Be the first stream of the first day of the year for 2025 on Wednesday. Man, a lot's happened. And thank you for the coffee, Guam. It's appreciated more than you know. Much love, God bless. Dabu7@yahoo.com. If you got anything you need to get to me. Shut those speakers off for the moment. And, yeah, last one of 2024. The year flew by. Man, time is flying. The older you get, the quicker it goes. I heard it growing up. I had to hear my dad say these things, and sure enough, I'm going to start off here with an update on space weather. It's been a minute. Hasn't been a lot of activity for being at the top of a solar cycle. But we did have an X-flare kickoff from the sun. And they're saying that all this activity from the 29th into the 30th has hurled 2 CMEs toward Earth. Their arrival expected here between the 31st and the 1st. It could spark moderate G2 to G3, which is strong, geomagnetic storms. If a strong storm materializes, northern lights could descend all the way down into the mid-latitudes into the United States and Europe. And with all the fireworks going off, that'd be quite a sight to see. Hello. It'd be some rare stuff to catch Pixie in the house. Much love. Hope all is well with you guys. Eon. Kathy. My knights. Again, hope you guys had happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And all that good stuff. But we could see a storm coming through from this. Wanted to keep you guys posted on what's going on coming in from space. And as you can see down here, we've got quite a few objects that came in closer than the moon. So the moon sits at 1 LD, or 1 lunar distance. And you can see here on the 29th, we had one come in closer than the moon. Well, twice. You had 2 different objects. We have one tonight, actually 2 tonight. One coming in at 0.4 and the other at 0.8. So they're both going to be coming in closer than the moon, which is pretty darn close. What? High says Fog City in California. That's weird that you say that. And I'm going to get to the weather. Well, we'll get to it now. Um, I was checking my weather for what is to come. If you don't know, all systems are go for this massive polar vortex to dump a lot of cold air down into the United States. And some areas are going to see like double-digit negative numbers. That's not even counting the wind chill. Okay, so this is just talking the straight numbers. Like North Dakota, South Dakota areas up in there, they're going to see upwards like negative 35. And this is going to creep all the way down to Nebraska, near Missouri, into Illinois. It's going to be super cold. When I was looking at the weather, one of the days, all it said for the whole day was fog. It's weird because, like, I mean, where I'm at out here in the Appalachian Mountains, like, you'll see, fog all the time. I could wake up and I have a lake of fog out there in the mountains. It's crazy looking. It's wild stuff. But this is calling for, like, a different fog, like an all-day type of fog. So I see you say that, and I'm like, it's going to make its way across the country. To me. I just, I don't know. I don't recall ever hearing anybody talk about massive fog down here on the West Coast like that. It's good to know. I like the feedback. I appreciate it to the fullest from everyone out there. Blow this up a little bit. Just the OBS dips in and out. We got hit with winds that sent everything that you could think of flying. And it was pretty crazy. They were stronger winds than what came through with the hurricane, with Helene. Because when Helene came through, we had hurricane winds come through, and it was like a push. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like punching. It was like bursts of air coming through. It wasn't normal. I just thought it was, I felt hurricanes. I went down and chased hurricanes. This was different. And every year I've noticed also that in the fall, a line of wind will come through for like one day. Strong wind. And usually with that line comes a change in like the season, literally. That'll bring in like cooler air behind it. It's things that I notice where I'm at. I don't know if it's just where I'm at and the way that the weather hits the mountains. But this is going to be cold, man. Look, negative numbers are nothing to mess around with. At all. You can see here that the cold weather deaths have doubled in the United States. Another reason to use caution and just to be aware of what's going on out there. You don't want to go out here and get caught in a situation where you're stuck, in a freezing environment and you have no way out. Thank you for the feedback there. If the audio is choppy for you at any point, just give it a refresh is all I can say. The best bet. And I'm going to have to just keep it pushing as long as it's good on my end. Dr. Frankenstein says exit and come back to get rid of the choppy sound. All right, well, I appreciate that. So, it's about all I could say. Yeah, X-Flare. I just covered that at the beginning of the stream. And yeah, the elderly out there, they're more at risk than anything. Cold-related deaths here. Highest among adults age 75 and older. So, if you know anybody out there that's older, out there by themselves, might want to check on them. Those numbers, nothing to mess with. The futures on natural gas spike ahead of this forecasted historic cold. Now that I think about it, yeah, when things like this happen, there's definitely going to be a spike in the need, which means the price is going to go up. So, historic cold is going to bring this. But if you're somebody in the markets trying to get into something that's going to take off, well, here you go. If you're somebody that's in the markets looking to short something, just wait till this passes. Right as this starts to pass and all this should pull back. And you should be able to short the top of this market all the way down. That's where a lot of the money is to be made in the market, is shorting, if you can do so. And Rapunzel said, refreshing, clear cash word. All right, much love. Natural gas is key. If you've got natural gas on your property, or you can get property with natural gas, you can't beat that. It's huge. I don't know what's in the fog. It's a good question. Who knows what's going to be coming in this fog? Weather is a weapon. I mean, it is a weapon, period. I've seen it used in like every format they can use it, from the cloud seeding, into the hurricanes, from the tornadoes getting whipped up like all over the place and targeting specific places. The rain bombs, that's been something else that they drop in the mountains and on these areas that cannot handle it. You might as well say Helene was one massive rain bomb that came in over the mountains. It's those mountain areas that have been targeted over the past year, a couple years. They hit our area and wiped it out. And thank you, Jake, for the super chat. Hey man, I'm here all the time. You may not get notifications. Like I didn't get one tonight sent out for my live stream. I don't get them ever, and I use backup emails. So yeah, don't be expecting a notification or anything like that. I do say hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, as everyone does. Do everything you got to do, but I've done it myself. My wife does it, and we get no updates. It's how I know they're not going out. Plus, other people tell me I haven't seen you in 10 years. I'm active every day, for the most part, at least every week. So always check back on Dabu7's channel for stuff, because you're probably going to be surprised. Whoa, I haven't seen nothing from him. No notifications. Well, when you're over the target like we are here all the time, they don't like people to hear me, obviously. They keep me in a bubble. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing. Gas prices expected to fall in 2025. Now, I can see Trump doing this, but if we get into any major war, if we get into any craziness out here on the world stage, tit for tat with the tariffs and all that stuff, gas could be used as a weapon against us, against the people of the United States. I mean, coming out of these other countries, especially when you're talking Saudi Arabia, that is flipped. Because Saudi Arabia made a deal with the United States that made the petrodollar, and it's what made the United States dollar as powerful as it is globally. But now they flipped. They're going with BRICS. And any time like that in the past, if something like that would have happened, you could have expected war. The United States would have gone to war with somebody. But the world's a stage, and we're going to start drilling like crazy here. So if the fracking kicks up in Texas and Oklahoma and all that stuff, threefold, fourfold, in other places, you can expect to see earthquake activity too. Years ago, when the fracking was at a high, there was a high in earthquake activity. The swarming and all that, it just goes hand in hand. It's going to happen. It's going to happen anytime that you're sending liquid down into the earth, into these cracks, and you're busting it open underneath to release gases that you can then collect. Well, you're going to feel the effects at some point. And I've seen it, man. From someone that watches the earthquake maps all the time and for years and years and years. Yeah. And I've noticed even there with the earthquake activity, there's an underreporting of all the quakes that's been happening. I've been keeping a close eye on the New Madrid fault. It's the biggest fault out there that would affect me in my area and the whole Midwest. And it's overdue. Well, it's due. Every 200 years or so, they say it pops. It's been that. And it set off a series of big quakes last time. Made the river flow backwards. The Mississippi and the Ohio. That's some strong quake activity. I'm not sure this country is prepared for something like that, to be honest with you. Something like that was to hit a natural disaster, even if they ushered it in, like pop the fault. You're talking disaster like you couldn't imagine. And you couldn't blame it on anyone. No one could point the finger at China or Russia or anything else or anyone. It would be chalked up as a natural disaster and they would get away with it just like they always do underneath the guise of a natural disaster. But the devastation would be horrendous. You're talking every bridge that goes across that Mississippi. I mean, the river would come unzipped. All these bridges would just poof, 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 gone all the way up it. Man, it would cripple this country. It's all they would need is a disaster of that magnitude to put us down. Just saying, we're overdue. It's on the table. It's like right now you got all these cards that are in play on the table. Some you can take off after certain things happen. Other ones get added. Some have been there the whole time. And some get moved to front and center, which means that there's going to be a high probability of them popping off. Economic chaos, if you will, it's definitely on the table. And moving toward the forefront as Trump approaches. Now look here. The Colorado River is shrinking. And to most people, they'd be like, so? That's all the way where? That doesn't affect me. Well, it does. This takes a toll on our nation's food supply. Big time. And they're warning now that the shelves and the prices at the grocery store could look a little different here very soon because the Colorado River, which provides water for about 15% of our country's agriculture, it's shrinking. And there's an agreement on that water that divvies it up or divides it up to certain different places like California and things like that. Well, the whole agreement ends in 2026. So you're talking a year from now. And the Imperial Valley in Southern California relies 100% on this river, on the Colorado River in its water. That's where they get every bit of the water. So it's tricky in that aspect. To me, yeah, you've got to make sure that there's constant flow of water going down, even though everyone gets a piece of it. Needs to eat off of it, drink off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, survive off of it. One thing that they're not doing, which needs to be brought up, is desalination. Crown Jewels, much love. Desalination. There should be plants all down the coastline of California, turning salt water into fresh water. And they could be selling it. They could be shipping it into other places that need it. Big time. And we could be doing huge things like that, but they do all the wrong things with their money and with their laws and all this other stuff. It's all about control, remember that, when it comes to the governments. Control the people, control the natural resources. You control all the resources in the food supply, you have control of them. And that's what they're going to attack this next time they lock everything down. This bird flu, whatever the hell it's going to be, the next thing. And I've got some huge updates on that here tonight as well. Everything's moving right along. Any day now, I feel we're going to wake up in this state of emergency. And I mean, I guess day one of Trump's administration, we're going to be in one anyway. So there's going to be one regardless. Like, we're racing toward one. Another one could pop off before it. But yeah, man. This is the second time in a week or so that we've got a study out about these cooking oils that a lot of people out there are using. So heads up if you're one of those people that use any of these seed oils for cooking. And a lot of people do. Because they're saying it's proven now that there's these carcinogens, so to speak, that are inside of these oils, even though they may seem natural, that when they're heated up to a certain level, they release toxins. They're called these polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs. And they're connected to sparking cancer and all that. So it's a big thing here, and people are like, what do I cook with then? If I can't use none of these oils, none of them are safe out there. But they go on to say down here to replace all the seed oils like sunflower, soybean, and canola with alternatives that have a higher heat stability and they have fewer harmful byproducts in them. They say oils like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, they're all better suited for cooking. And they don't do that. They don't give off these PAHs at a high level. So do your own research. Everyone out there's got things they can eat, can't eat, they're allergic to, whatever. And all the different oils out there, there's a variety. So they've shown in test after test at this point, and these are different places doing the testing, that this is what's happening. They also say that you can counter this with things that you eat as well. But you've got these non-stick pans that are out there going around, and they're not good. Whatever's used on them causes cancer and all that other stuff. It gives off the same things. It's like, how can you be eating something like that or using something like that? I don't know. Some people don't realize. They think that that's what they sell in the store. It's safe. Yeah, prices are insane. And they're going to continue to go up. I'd say this spring is critical for everyone. Everyone that can hear my voice, you better be growing something. I don't care if it's in your windowsill, if you're in an apartment. I don't care. There's no excuse at this point. If you want to survive, you'll do something. You'll do something to mitigate the damage either way. You want to save money, this and that, or, if you got a porch, I'd be taking advantage of it, or any space to grow. If you can pop up a little greenhouse, those are always good. I'm looking to put one up myself here this spring. I'm going to tell you, get you some chickens. And you guys ever seen old movie? Old funny one now I think about it. It was an old Cheech and Chong movie from back in the day. Okay? And they're like growing their stuff. And a helicopter's coming in, and I forget which one it is. There's so many Cheech and Chong ones out there. I just remember this one scene. They're like trimming and all this stuff, and they're trying to put a net up to like cover it, to camouflage it, where they can grow all this stuff. But it comes down, and he's on top of a ladder, and he's just out there acting like he's swimming or something stupid. And the camouflage netting that they were using always hung with me. Like, something like that could be used one day. And then, of course, if you look at any type of military setup on the front lines or anything like that, they do the same thing. They use this camouflaged, or it just looks like the ground from above. You can't tell what's really there. It's masking it. I feel this is what we're going to have to do to hide our chickens. You're going to have to start thinking smart to save your tail. Because with what they're about to come with this bird flu and everything, they're targeting people in their backyard, chickens and birds, and farmers. That's who they're going after. We already know this before it even begins. And we know they're serious because they've locked this whole place down before. Oh man, do I've got some stuff to show you. All right. That's here in a second. All right. That's here in a second. I got a lot to tear into there. First, let me get through some of this economic stuff. They're saying prepare for a turbulent 2025 in terms of the prices of coffee, of oil, other commodity markets. Carry your caffeines and things like that. All this is expected to go up in 2025. And with a Trump tariff war, so to speak, rolling out back and forth, this ain't good. Your coffees, your espressos, things like that, they're going to go through the roof. They tested over 300 different foods for plastics. And this was out of the Bay Area where they did this, but this shows you that these companies that supply food all across the country, you better watch out. Pay attention to this. You think that just because you eat at Whole Foods and it's got a name that makes you feel safe and comfy, that everything that they sell there is all right. Well, it's not the case. It's not the case with none of them. I'm going to tell you right now, unless you're growing it or you know someone raising cows and all that stuff, there are plastics and microplastics and stuff being injected into the food purposely in some of these instances. They're putting glues and stuff in them. But they found in this steak plastic chemicals, or this is what they found. In their test, they found 86% of all foods had this in them that they were testing, these plastics. But they said what was even more disturbing is when they got down to Whole Foods and they went to the organic, boneless beef ribeye steak. Someone's like, oh my God, I had it tonight. From Whole Foods. Well, the ribeye steak from Whole Foods ranked fairly high on the list. And you can see these people down here, they're like, the Whole Foods steak is disturbing because the numbers are so high and in the red in terms of the parts per million that they're finding in the powdered milk, protein bars, the blueberry protein bars, strawberry protein bars, the ribeye steak right here, it stands out. And you can see here it's at 1428, which is high. But all these things had all these microplastics. These days it's like it's everywhere, right? Absolutely everywhere. And in the midst of all this, everyone is defaulting on their credit cards. The defaults soaring to crisis highs because everyone's been crushed. I don't see it getting any better. I told you, I foreseen them doing some major damage on this market, on the economy, on Trump's watch. If not bringing the whole thing down on him. 2025 will be very interesting economically. There's something that they call the Santa pump that just came through, and then the Trump dump, okay? And they're talking about all these different things, like creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which some people say is stupid and insane. And I'm going to tell you this. If they create it at the top of the market, it's stupid. Because it's just going to lose money from there. What you do is you create it a year or two from now, which they got time, I guess, on his watch, where the market's pulled back, the prices are at a low, it's in a bear market, that's when you would create a reserve. But it's a digital nothing. If you're going to create a freaking reserve, do it in gold, is what I say. But some could say we're already doing that, right? Fort Knox. But like, you show me where the gold's at, because we ain't seen it in how long? Ever since I've been alive. Some say there's not even any gold in Fort Knox. I mean, who's going to prove any different? Yeah. Well, look at this. Janet Yellen says that the U.S. will hit the debt ceiling by, well, how convenient, mid-January, forcing the Treasury to employ extraordinary measures. What kind of extraordinary measures? And you're telling me just days before Trump takes the oath on the satanic high holiday that this is what you're going to do? We're going to hit the debt ceiling right before they give this to Trump. Literally, days. Dude, this is crazy. There's going to be so many things happening on Inauguration Day that it's just going to leave one's head spinning. For real. So many different things. He's going to be ripping off so many different EOs and executive orders. And who knows if something didn't pop off up in D.C., something crazy, something stupid. You know, I was at the inauguration for Trump last time. Let me tell you, it was pretty wild. It just makes me think of all these staged events that we've seen thus far and all these attempts they've made on his life, you know, whatever. Could they be setting the stage for something grandiose inside their little playground there? Because that's their territory inside D.C., the National Mall and all that. Like, you ain't pulling nothing off in there. Anything gets pulled off in there is like 1,000% them. Look, D.C. is different if you've never been there. Let me tell you something. We were there walking on the sidewalk outside the Capitol, not even up in the main part of the Capitol, like out on the sidewalk near the road, walking. And I put my tripod on the concrete so I could film what was in front of me, you know, like a normal human does. And dude, I had agents come out the bushes. I ain't kidding you. They came out of everywhere. They sprung out like, go, get it up off the ground, get it up. I'm like, I couldn't believe they were talking to me. I had to look around. It was me and Eric. And they were like, get it off the ground, screaming. And I'm like, what the? Had guns drawn and everything. So I picked my camera up and started heading toward them. And as we got closer, they started popping off at the mouth. Like, you can't do that. You can't have tripods on the ground, up on the Capitol grounds. I'm like, it's a camera, not a freaking Gatling gun. Like, we don't care. And I was like, what the? Dude, it wasn't but a short time later, and I've told this story before, we got zapped. We got hit with their weaponry. They zapped our phones. They wiped our phones clean. They had fresh batteries. They killed them down to nothing, and they wiped them clean. They reset them down to factory settings. All the people that we had stored in there, everything was gone. Yeah. Okay, that's what they can do up there in the little playground. They're going to zap you with whatever, steal all your information, just drain your batteries out on you, threaten to blow your head off because you set a camcorder tripod on the ground. I mean, it's nuts. So they've got that place locked down cold, is what I'm saying. If anything happens on inauguration up there, dude, it's theirs. Theirs 100%. Just don't forget it. And look at this. A debt ceiling getting hit right before he takes it. Are you kidding me? He's inheriting all this. Like, it's like inevitable that it's going to come down on him. But I mean, if you're already under a national emergency, riddle me this. If you're already under a national emergency, can you launch another one? I mean, how does that work? Can you? Or do they just extend it? Or what do they do there? Or take it to another level? Like, I don't understand. Like, if from day one we're in a national emergency and then something crazy happens, like, then what? It's like, you can't say national emergency. Like, we're already there. Like, it's just. And again, lockdowns, bird flu, anything of this comes into effect, we're already under a national emergency, like day one. I don't like this at all. It's like everything we've ever warned about. The Trumpers are just blindly accepting it, like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's Trump. It's just like, dude, like, the ignorance of ignoring all these things just because Trump won is got to be the stupidest thing in the world. Anyone that has a brain would still keep your eye on the ball and see what's happening and going on around them and see that there's a massive setup going down. I mean, even your supreme Gentile Messiah said it himself that they're handing him a whopper, basically crap for an economy that's going to tank. That's just, the economy tanking, starting a war at our border, going into every city trying to round up people, building camps, and all this. Dude, it's like everything we ever warned you of with Jade Helm. And if bird flu breaks out again while they're going into all these cities trying to round people up, dude, this will be the setup of your freaking life. Do you understand me? I see it. I can see it from a mile away. Can't you see when stars align? Can't you see they have everything that they need right there to round up people? They're setting the stage under the guise of these migrants, which in itself is its own issue. But boy, I'm telling you now, if they press bird flu and bodies start dropping, the whole migrant thing will take a back seat. And it will be anyone that is not jabbed, that can't show proof, will be a threat. And you know it. And you know it. And pray to the Most High it doesn't take that turn. Because the moment it does, it's over. It's gray state. Full blown. They had to have a way to get it into motion. They had to have the reason. And the stage is set. Do you see it? It's all there. It's all there. Why would they miss this opportunity? They would not. They would not. You better get ready. You better get ready. We told you. I told you. I've spent the past, since lockdowns, getting ready for what's about to happen. And for everyone that sat there and it did nothing, you're going to pay for it. To live through what we lived through, getting locked down, essential papers, all this other crap, and to blindly, after everything we know that you hear, and to do nothing, it's a bed you made. Everyone's going to have to lay in it. So I just hope that everyone is prepared to the fullest of their ability. I don't think any of us are going to be, Mark Zuckerberg, bunker, here and, have everything loaded down. Maybe some of you out there have it on the low. Salutes, that's cool. But, I guess I've been worried about as many people as possible this whole time. I know there's always going to be a handful that do prepare, but it's the people out there that are caught in the headlights. Like snap out of it. Like, dude, it's about to happen. Like, go at least stock up on some food, like Mountain House or a bunch of canned food, like something, and have a supply. If you never did it before, or you did it and you never used it, you threw it out, you never re-upped, I would re-up right now. There's certain moments in time, certain windows that you enter that are different than others. And I'm telling you, this one is different than any other one you've ever been in. let's get over to the airplanes that are falling out of the sky left and right. I seen one here earlier on a small plane, passenger plane going down, I believe in another country. But I was like, wow, there's a lot. There's a lot here. So check this out. We had the one that went down, the Azerbaijan flight, where I told you last time it was a miracle. They went down, the tail snapped off, everybody in the tail lived. Everybody else died. So if there's anything I can tell you about if you're going to fly, it looks like if you're going to be in a crash, odds are, this isn't the case every time, but majority of those that have been surviving have been in the back of the plane. You got to think all the fuel's in the wings, man. That's why that's all just nothing. It just looks like it's just burnt up. There's not much left. If there's anything left, it's usually, either the very front tip or the back. Drive, don't fly, Jen D says. Well, that's been my motto all these years. If I got to go all the way to the West Coast, I'm driving. So I gotta plan like a week, a few days just to get out there and a few days back. If I was ever gonna go out west, that's just the reality of it. Birds are attacking the planes, they say. Like, get out of here. I showed you that one clip that they said was a bird a week or so ago. They hit that engine. It was a nighttime one, and it flashed. Well, we had guys come on. They came into that space that we did. It had some very good points. One guy worked on the engines, and he goes, "There's 26 different blades that's in that engine." He had like great information. He's like, if that was a bird, something made of flesh and blood, when we hit that very first set, there would have been no spark. There would have been no flash. There would have been no spark. It would have just been. It would have just took the bird out, like chopped it to a zillion pieces. There would have been no spark when it hit those front blades. Because it had to have been something metal or electronic that did that. And that's when we leaned toward a drone. And it looked like a drone. And there was a seam in whatever it was. You could see a seam in it. Birds don't have seams in them. It was very weird. And it leaned toward a drone, went inside that engine. And I'm here to tell you, there's, with all this stuff going on in the sky, I don't know, but all right. So we have another one, several different instances here. We have a passenger plane carrying 181 people crashing and exploding into a fireball in South Korea. This is a Jeju Air Flight 2216 operating a Boeing 737-800. It was flying from Bangkok to Muan Airport when it crashed into the wall at the end of the runway. The plane tried landing without landing gear. This is a Boeing. They're about to get torn apart. Tragically, 179 of 181 people on board lost their lives. I cannot believe that even two survived. Wow. It is the deadliest aviation disaster on South Korean soil ever. And, well.
들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 감각 섹사지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 다시 한번 전해드리겠습니다.
Man, oh man. Rest in peace to all the souls lost. That's horrific, man. We got another one. A Norway flight makes an emergency landing because of hydraulic failure. The pilots lose control and skid off the runway. Like, what is going on here, man? Like, they're saying that during takeoff, flight KL 1204 from Oslo with the destination of Amsterdam this evening. 2812, a loud noise was heard. It was decided to divert to the airport. After landing, the Boeing 737, a Boeing 737, that's all that keeps happening. It veered off the runway into the grass at low speed. All 176 passengers and 6 crew members were unharmed. Let me tell you, there's some lessons to be learned right here about these areas. I mean, every airport's different, every runway's different. But that last one that was tragic, where they blew up, what did they do? They hit a concrete wall at the end of the runway. Why is it there? Why is it there? This isn't a car. I mean, even if like it's gonna cause what we've seen. It's gonna cause what we've seen. It's gonna rip the plane in two. It's gonna make it explode. Why is it even there? The plane is better off going into a grass field, is it not? Just like this. And just like many others that we've seen that did go off the runway and into a field, and everyone survived just fine. So the fact that there was a concrete barrier at the end of that runway, they may want to rethink that. Because if it's not there, all them people may be alive. Now, if there's a road on the other side and all this other stuff, I don't know. You got to have to start thinking about how you're building these runways and where you're putting them. You can't just squeeze them in everywhere. You seen them crazy clips where these planes are landing and they're like 20 feet above people down on a beach. Like, I forgot where it was at, but there's some crazy runways out there every day. And they're out there battling crazy winds trying to land these planes, like coming in sideways before they hit the runway, and they still land them. These Boeing's got to get it together, man. I'd almost rather get my own plane, look the whole thing over, get my own license, and fly myself and wear a parachute or something, rather than take a commercial flight. I literally think it would be safer. Yeah. Yeah. Another one. Can you believe this? An Air Canada flight catches fire during a crash landing at a Halifax airport. I'm telling you, there's something going on. So, this Air Canada Express Flight 2259 experienced a harrowing landing at the Halifax Stanfield International Airport in Nova Scotia. The flight, arriving from St. John's, Newfoundland, encountered a suspected landing gear failure upon touchdown around 9:30. So there's something huge going on here. And how is it all with this within days when these things have been in operation for years? This is things that I don't get. But it's happening. I mean, are these... something nefarious going on here. So it encountered the suspected landing gear failure upon touchdown at 9:30 p.m. local time, causing the aircraft to skid down the runway and a wing to catch fire. Wow, all 73 passengers and crew safely evacuated. Now just imagine if there was a concrete barrier down there, they too could burn up in a ball of flame. There wasn't. They were able to skid, even though the wing caught on fire. As long as there wasn't nothing to crash into, it could come to a stop, and it did. So there's big lessons to be learned here. To me. Yeah, and RIP to all the souls lost, man. Yeah, it's just stuff that like nightmares are made of. Crash landings. It's just I don't want nothing to do with it. So check this out. This is my final update on the crashes. Back to the Azerbaijan Airlines flight that went down. I I told you when this happened. We showed the video of the guy that survived it miraculously. And they were showing the back of the fuselage, and that it had holes in it that were consistent of like shrapnel and looked like even bullet holes, man. So it looked like it got shot down. So that was my call. It got shot down. I don't know by who or what. Well, they come out and they start blaming Russia. And they're saying that, hey, Russia did this. That it was their air defense firing on this mistakenly because of all the drone stuff going on and this and that. They're trying to say that that's the case. And then Russia even kind of hinted toward that, yeah, they had... They might have shot it down. So, might is better than them flat out denying everything. But, accidents happen, even though it's horrific. And, yeah, Putin apparently apologizing and all this stuff. But some are saying that it's half-hearted and that they're not buying it and this and that. Well, I don't know why it wouldn't be. If it was an accident and they accidentally shot it down, I would say it was an accident. He's apologizing. I mean, what else do you expect there? Hey, much love, TNF. I appreciate that. Yeah, we did get a good space in. I just don't. This takes me back to MH17 that was shot down a long time ago. MH17, man. Over the years I've seen a lot of these incidents, man. Just it's crazy how some of them are eerily reminiscent of old ones. Everyone keeps talking about this fog, strange fog. As soon as you say that, it makes me think of Kobe when Kobe died. Which was on a high satanic day. They called for the sacrifice of a 13-year-old girl, young teenage girl, which his daughter died with him. That was crazy. All right, so we had some car ramming incidents here recently. I told you about in different places that were suspect right around Christmas time. Well, a Chinese man gets a death sentence here for ramming a car into a crowd, killing 35 people. So, this guy getting nailed for it. All these other people saying it was an accident or this and that. Well, that guy got it. Slide on over here to Elon Musk and Starlink in Ukraine. He said he could do this wherever and whenever, but to do this, if he's going to do this for the Ukrainian military, it makes him a target. It makes him, there's no other way around it. If you are helping someone on a battlefield, like when the enemy on the other side of the battlefield realizes this, you're fair game, dude. You're the enemy. Musk definitely not offering this to Russia or to Putin or anything like that. No, they're not. Ukraine's largest mobile operator, Kyivstar, has signed an agreement with Musk here to provide direct-to-cell satellite connectivity across the entire country. So there ain't going to be towers. Basically, everyone's phone's going to be running off of like satellite phone mode. And it's going to be Starlink's direct-to-cell technology that they've rolled out. Limited rollout in several countries worldwide right now. This is new technology, okay? So they're going to possess this in there. And if they're using this to communicate and to conduct strikes and all this stuff, man, they're fair game to be taken out, man. They're satellites. Starlink satellites are fair game to be taken out in subspace. And I'm talking Star Wars. It's going to happen at some point, and I think it's going to happen sooner than later. And who's it going to be between us and Russia and the same old song and dance? They've already got weapons up there. We've got weapons. Russia's got freaking hypersonic missiles they're dropping right now that no one can stop. You could argue we've got them too and others got them. But until someone proves they can stop them, this is a dangerous game. But I'm just saying, Musk is helping the West do everything on the battlefield over there with Starlink. I mean, they can knock out all the communications in the city. Russia could. And with the Starlink setup, they could still be communicating all over the place. That's a problem for Russia. Do you understand? This is war, man. They're fair game when you step onto the battlefield. When you insert yourself into the whole thing, he didn't have to do this. He could just kept his mouth shut and stayed in the sidelines, stayed out of the war. But no, he's jumping right on in. Thank you, Cigarettes, for gifting the membership. Welcome to the underground. Out there, Anastar. Telling you, technology and things advancing. TNF, also, thank you for the coffee. Jay from the Ville, thank you for the coffee. And Deanne, thank you for the coffees. Appreciated to the fullest. Catch up on them right there. Appreciate all the support there, guys. I appreciate all you guys that are always here, man. Like, that are always, down, that you're dedicated, that you don't flake out. You're always there. Counts, man. I appreciate it. All you guys. Some of you guys been around for years. I see some names and some people out there sometimes that have been around for a long time, man. I'm like, much love, salutes, man. All you guys. Hopefully I get to meet some of you guys in the flesh before it's all said and done. Out there. I've had a chance to meet some of you, but there's others out there I would love to meet in the flesh, for sure. Would you believe this? And much love, Uncommon out there. Gabe, Gary in the house. Free Energy. TNF out there. Diane, I see you. And Joe, Susie Q. Much love to everybody out there. Hope you're doing good here on this New Year's Eve. Hope everyone's safe out there, man. Another food processing plant catches fire. 1 dead, several injured after a midnight explosion at a Tyson poultry plant. Remember, Tyson's been hit with all these accusations of child labor. I've reported time after time after time of contamination in all the food, whether it was wood chips or it's metal or it's glass or this and the things that you should never even make it in there. Much love, tacos. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, man. Another food processing plant going up. So it's like clockwork with these activities. Yeah, I miss Mike too. R.I.P. Kart Racer, my brother. He's with us. Trust me. Q City. Man, much love, man. Q City. Yeah, I don't trust none of this stuff. Tyson Meats, it's all that in that Smithfield and all that. That's all Chinese owned. Smithfield, like all these places, like I don't trust nothing. Like we're getting ready to go into World War III with these people. Like, and you expect me to trust what they're feeding us? Are you serious? When their people are over there eating dogs and cats and who knows what else, who knows what they're really putting in. I don't trust none of it, man. I don't. John, thank you for the coffee. And have a happy new year. Yeah, I hope 2025 is good for all of us as well coming up, man. Again, thank you for the coffee and the support. Much love, G. I'm gonna keep it pushing. Jay Leno addresses. Remember when I told you guys? They were like, he fell down a hill and he broke his finger and this. And I'm like, garbage. Like, this is part of the club type stuff. This is like either ritual or like someone got him for something. All of his injuries consistent with a beating. A bad beating. Not slipping and sliding down a 20-foot hill. Like, no way. They beat him and, like, tortured him. And guess what's coming up now? That he is in debt to the mob over gambling. A gambling debt. Apparently, Jay has had a bad gambling problem throughout the years. And, I guess when he was rolling in the money, he still had his shows going and all that stuff, he, was rolling in the money. And with all the people around him in the game, certain individuals, and obviously here some shady individuals, and thank you, Heidi, for the coffees. Much love. He apparently fell into debt to the mob, and they beat him. He's trying to, like, deny it and, like, downplay it all, but others are like, no, like, that's what's happened. People that, like, have some insider information or know a little something about this on the back end, don't want to be named. They're saying, yeah, like, this has been going on for years. He apparently doesn't have the money to pay up, so he's catching a beating. This dude have you seen his garage? Have you seen the freaking clips they show of Jay Leno's car garages? Like, how does this dude owe anyone any money? Like, just break him off a car, dude. He's got them. I guess he's not wanting to come up off them cars. He's got, like, millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of cars. Like, just in cars alone. But, apparently, he was high-stake gambling, and they got him, and, I don't know, you might want to pay that off. And Sweet Pea, thank you for the coffees. Happy New Year. Yeah. This is the last stream of the year. This is how we're getting it in. Again, I appreciate the support there, TNF. To the fullest. And if you got anything you need to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com. The email. Trying to open up this other screen here so I can see when these things. I keep missing. I don't have the sound on, so I was missing some of those notifications. All right. I don't know what's going to happen with Jay Leno. Let's go to the drones. We got some updates. And this whole thing has been disturbing, right? This whole thing, in terms of just all of it, man. It continues. And we have a YouTuber here that just caught a bunch of new stuff. This is CJ Fajon. He does stuff here on YouTube on the Paranormal Activity in Haunted Houses channel. And he went and he filmed all these basically over the ocean, right off the coast. Zipping around, darting all over the place. And he said that he sailed off the coast of Atlantic City in a bid to witness all this stuff. So he finally did this. So he did it. See, this is what I was telling you. I salute him for doing it. We could get no one to do the challenge. The challenge was somebody get in a boat and go out here and show us what you see. He did it. So, I would share footage, but it's on YouTube and it'll definitely strike me. If it was on Rumble, I'd play it. But so he sailed off the coast. He went out there with this equipment. He chartered a boat. And he caught these things flying around all over the place. I mean, he's got a ton of footage where they just start materializing and blinking in patterns. But they're way out over the ocean. So this isn't over a city. This isn't over an installation. Like, what are they scanning out in the ocean? There's no facilities there to be scanning. And if you guys saw that clip today on X of drones taking off from the back of a truck, yes, it looks crazy. But I'm here to tell you that those are agricultural drones. Yeah. Okay. Turn down the notifications there on the volume. Again, I haven't had sound on, so I wasn't able to hear anything. Okay. I mean, you can see right there, it's playing a clip repeatedly. But go over to their YouTube channel, and you're going to see all the video of this. And it still does not answer the question. Like, he went out, I guess, only so far and filmed them, and I salute him for doing it. No one else has done it. But I would have chased them. Granted, it's going deep out into the ocean at night. But, I mean, this is what you should have had, a captain for, got the right boat. I mean, I don't know. If I was out there, if I'm in the ocean, I couldn't just watch them fly away. I would have to, give chase. Personally. And see where they're going. I mean, are they going 100 miles off the coast? Like, what are they doing? Like, we need to know these things. So this is the start. This is the beginning. He basically just caught them out there over the ocean. And it's like, okay, what are they doing out there? I mean, this matches what the Coast Guard said. So they just appeared. They came in off the ocean, like 30 of them or whatever, and they just followed them. Just followed them. And remember, we have multiple military guys coming out and saying that these things are outrunning them. Yeah, you can see them on radar, but you can't see them on heat signature. You can't lock onto them with a weapon. So they just chase them. They just have to chase them. Then they get outran because our aircraft runs out of gas. That's just nuts. That's nuts. There's ways to take these things out of the sky, obviously. But there's a huge operation ongoing. And I'm going to say this, okay? We know Donald Trump is about to get inaugurated. We know a lot of things are about to happen. But I'm going to tell you this. Donald Trump said he was going to release the JFK files forever. And then when he got in there and he actually saw them, he decided not to. Okay, for whatever reason, it was just some little partial thing, a little tease. Okay? He said that Joe Biden and the government and everybody knows what's going on. And he doesn't know why they're keeping everybody in suspense. He said this himself. Well, on January 20th, Donald Trump will get a full presidential briefing, and he will know 1,000% what these drones are. He will know everything that Biden knows. And he should tell us. Thank you, Jennifer, for the coffee in the comment. Much love, God bless, and Happy New Year. Do you understand that Donald Trump is going to have the goods, and he has a duty to come clean. That day, they either end or he tells us what's going on. This is huge. It's a huge moment. I mean, give him to the next day. Give him to the 21st, because 20th is going to be so busy. Crystal, my gosh. Man, thank you for all the coffees, man. And the comment. To the fullest. Much love. God bless. Happy New Year. Huge, man. Thank you so much. And how's that notification sound now? I dialed it all the way back. Now, if I'm playing a video and I have to turn everything up to play that video and a notification comes through and it's loud, there's nothing I can do about that. But I keep it toned down. Man, again, thank you, Crystal. So that's my final comment on the drones for right now until we see more footage or get some updates, is that when Donald Trump gets in there, he should tell the whole world what's going on. Yep. That's it. If Donald Trump does not, then think you trust no one. That's right. If he does not tell us, dude, what do you think that means? Thank you, cigarettes, for the memberships. What do you think that means? If Donald Trump knows and he doesn't tell us that it's bad news, it's super bad news. Super duper bad news. It is anyway. It's a huge op. They're scanning, they're tracking. I still am in the same boat as this is all black ops. All right, well, if you live in Florida, the sheriffs there are saying that, look, if you want to be stupid enough to try to break into the homes down here, they're saying, well, you should expect to be shot. So, I don't know what's going on. There's an uptick down there. Well, they say Chilean nationals, all these people coming in, from like Cuba and coming in on boats and just showing up on the beach. We've seen it before. People just be out sunbathing on the beach and this boat will come rolling in and like a bunch of migrants jump off of it. Yes, it happens right here in the United States all the time, more than you even know. And they're just coming in all over the place. So now the sheriffs, now that Trump is about to get in there in a whole 180, like this thing's turning around, they're putting warnings out there.
It happened around 9 o'clock last night on Hickory Hammock Circle in Bradenton. Deputies say surveillance video shows two men trying to get in through the back of the home. Now, they say the homeowner saw it happening, got his gun, and fired at least 3 shots. A bullet hit one of the men. That man later died in the hospital. A canine deputy found the other suspect a few blocks away, and he is in jail this noon.
I praise this husband for doing what he needed to do to protect his home and protect his family. And if you're going to be that brazen to come into my home, once again, you should expect that you're going to be shot.
You're going to be that brazen to try to come into my home, you should expect to be shot, is what the sheriff just said. Yep. I've been to Bradenton, Tampa area. Giovanni. Yeah, brother, you be living and staying in some nice spots then. Bradenton, Kentucky, Mr. Hamilton says. I was talking Florida. But it's a weird connection. I'm in Kentucky, though. Check this out. This is crazy. The madness is just getting out of hand out there these days. Inside these businesses where people are just disrespecting the workers. Like, you might as well just start, like, hiring bouncers. Seriously, you might as well be hiring some heavy-duty security because of some of the stuff that's going on. When they come in here getting this physical, and I'm going to play this clip here. This is nuts. Watch this.
Just let her make her food. Just get her food, please. Like, yeah, like, just let her get her food. Just live a life.
Watch this. right here. Ooh. And it cuts off right there. But this is one incident that happened in the store. Another happened where a dude rolls in and shoots somebody inside the Chipotle.
Chaos at Chipotle. A customer shoots an employee.
Yes, it's been going down at Chipotle. I don't know what they got going on around there. Maybe too many 5G towers. I don't know what. But something in the food, I don't know. But the people be snapping out at Chipotle. So, just if you're going to go eat there, I'm going to have a camera ready. You never know what you're going to catch. Hey, Dabu7@yahoo.com if you catch anything crazy. We'll air it out right here. So, I mean, dude just took that whole bowl to the face. And I'm sure that she got some punches off afterwards or something, because she was drawing up. Gabe says food not that good. I might have had Chipotle a time or two, but I don't have much food out these days. I don't trust any of it. I operate like, you ever seen the movie They Live? Roddy Piper in there, yeah. Like, that's me on a normal basis. That's me going through town, all right? I see everything for what it is, man. And I go by Wendy's and I go by McDonald's, and I could see, like, I don't know, man. It's just like I get the impression it's like there's like mystery meat, and you have no idea what's in this food, and like this and that, and it's like everything, every store. You go by the dollar store, and it's nothing but like the big diabetes sign. It's just all these things that jump out at me. I don't trust none of it. I don't like all the society's screwed. I trust the mom and pop shops or the little places like that more, the home cooking, than the other places. Jesus is King. Jeff Poor, thank you. To the fullest there. Turn that volume back down. All right, so as you can see on the screen, this isn't good. We got a warning. There's a brand new drug that's 100 times worse than fentanyl hitting the streets. The deaths have risen over 700%. Look, man, we got so much going on. Look at what they've done. Look how deadly fentanyl is. We can't even get a grip on it. Now, all of a sudden, there's something 100 times worse. How can you get 100 times worse than something that if you even touch it, it can kill you? How can you get 100 times worse than that? Huh? If you look at it, it can kill you. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's that deadly. I mean, how is it even a thing to even be cool? Even get a bus off of? Like, I don't even understand it. But when people get hooked on these things, it's scary. Look, this drug thing has taken the lives of more people than anything that I know in my life. Do you hear me? Do you know that when it comes to the people that I've known in this life that have died, if I was to sit here and count them up and what they died from, that this right here is the number one thing. Yeah. You know how many times I talk to somebody and they'd be like, oh, did you hear about this dude, or this person that from high school, or we used to play football with, or, or this and that, dead. Like, what happened? Like, they just found him dead. It's always the same story. No one was trying to die, like commit suicide. They were just chasing that buzz. They're chasing that Percocet, Vicodin buzz. To a whole different level. And you see where it gets you these days. You can't do it. You've got to make a choice. You've got to drop that crap, or you're going to be dead. You're going to be dead. Look, dude, some of my best guys that I grew up with are dead. They were soldiers, man. They weren't bad people. They weren't looking for death. They thought that they were taking a pill, a normal Percocet or a Vicodin and going into work. The next thing you know, they're dead. And I know the people out there listening to me can relate to this. Because if it ain't you, it's someone around you, and you know it. There's so many undercover pill poppers. But here's the problem. Like, do your thing. Whatever you got to do, it's your choice. Live your life. If it's safe. But, like, when a deadly thing steps onto the scene as being a person that cares, I've got to say something. I got to do something. I've got to intervene. I got to say something. I got to do something. Like, it was different. If you were... It's a different day and age, man, these days. Like, you might have got away with going into work and a dude bringing you in a couple whatever. That's just the routine for some people, right? Just be honest about it. Well, when that dude that you always depend on comes in and he's got tainted pills or pressed pills that are actually fentanyl, all it takes is one time. One time these days. One time. It's over. Man. Rest in peace to all the people that have... This is an attack. This is a weapon. This is how I see it. This is a weapon. And it's just dropping bodies for them. So in this war, okay, think about it like this. In this war against the beast, and thank you, Cindy, for the coffee. In the comment, in this war against the beast, my side over here fighting against the beast, how has the beast eliminated a majority of the people around me? Just like this, with these drugs. That is where the biggest stack of bodies comes from. I'm sick of it. I said it the other day. Where's the billionaire at? Where's the righteous billionaire at to go to war with all these billionaires? You're going to tell me you got, I don't even know how many there are, 5,000 billionaires on the planet? I'm just random guess. Not a single one is righteous. Not one. Not one that we can gravitate toward, get behind. Anything, to go to war with all these baddies. Like, not one. It's freaking pathetic. This place is so evil. It's just ridiculous. It's at a point to where, the only thing that can overcome is a higher power. I pray the Most High comes back with the sword and lights this place up. Happy 2025. Much love. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so here we go. Let me get to one of the bigger stories here. The bird flu. This is one of those stories that, with just the right bit of amplification, you're going to wake up and all of our lives are changed. Again, lockdowns, frantic this and that. The scary part about this one is I believe with all my heart that it's going to be real. To the extreme of the deaths, I don't know. I'd like to think that the demons would have kept it on the low end, just in case it gets out of control. Okay? Yeah, we're about to go live with the real deadly one this time. Well, if there's going to be bodies dropped, let's just keep it on at least the low end. Not where it gets out of control, because then we're really screwed if that happens. The mortality rate on this is not like COVID. This is a different animal, and they're ready. So, they told you here recently they found it in a human, and that this thing mutated inside the human. So there you go. It's killing animals. It's killing your pets, your cats, dogs, all this stuff. It's already, here we are. It's already happening. You can't turn a cheek to it and act like it's not happening, because doing that's just going to get you blindsided. Like, if they're pushing this and they're going to push it full scale, you have got to be prepared, okay? Because it isn't just going to disappear when you turn your cheek or stick your head in the sand, okay? What does this say? Bird flu detected in the county wastewater. That's it. That's it. This is like one of the last things that happened before it went official. This is one of the last things that happened last time that made it official, that they used to push it on through. A confirmation, if you will, that it's out there and it's all throughout the system. When you find it in the wastewater, it's all throughout everything. That's what they're going to say. I'm warning you now. They are targeting our food supply with this move. They're targeting us, we the people. Everyone that's got a handful of chickens in your backyard. You remember what I said earlier about the Cheech and Chong thing with the camouflage net? You better take it serious, because you're going to have to protect these chickens. You're pretty much going to have to hide them and keep them outside, but keep them under that net. A chopper comes through or anything else comes through, drones, anything comes through, you know, you're going to want to keep them hid. If they've got thermal and they're using that and they catch them out, I don't know, you're going to have to start getting creative. Or going without. And see, that's the whole thing here. They're trying to force everyone's hand here. They can't do it where I'm at. They can't do it. They cannot do it. They will get their war. They will get it served to them. Right here. You cannot do it where I'm from, because every single house, all the way up and down the road, there's chickens running everywhere. They'd have to come in and like, it's impossible. They would have to go door to door, every single place, and it's not going to happen. You know how much lead they're going to catch? It just reminds me of the law Kentucky passed. If the feds come in here, they're on their own. They can't come in here and try to Waco you and then call the police and the National Guard and all them as backup. They cannot do it. They're on their own. It's on the books. It's the law. So if they come in here and they get in a hairy situation, and I call the sheriff, and I need the sheriff's help, then the sheriff come help me. You better know your enemy and know who's not. I seen faces this week on social media that I prayed I'd never see again. And names that I prayed I'd never see again in this lifetime. You know, to go through what we've went through thus far is bad enough, but to have to go through it again, and especially so quickly, well, one of those names and faces was Dr. Burks. She's the white. I so bad want to cuss and be dropping bombs right now because I'm so pissed off. I seen Burks again. And I couldn't even, like, listen to her voice or nothing. I like, seen the clip and, like, just started to, like, back away from the computer. Like, I wanted to throw holy water at it or something and, like, punch it. Like, I don't even, I see what's happening. Well, here's another one. And here's the warning. Here's the warning. This is what they're saying. And Cindy, thank you so much for the super chat and all of it. I'm going to turn the volume back up. Error, try again. What is it? Let me get a refresher real quick. All right, had to get a refresh on everything just to make sure everything's looking good, flowing good. I'm going to play this clip, and I'm going to turn the volume up to do so. Oh, that's what I was trying. I don't know what that was. Was it for coffee? That was the coffee sound, wasn't it? Cindy, thank you for the coffee. appreciate it to the fullest. And Fish Sticks, thank you for the coffee. Turn this up and play this clip. And this is a warning, man. We go over so much stuff, so much vital information. I mean, it's coming at us fast. But just listen. If you don't want to take it from me, listen.
What should be happening in the Biden administration right now that isn't going on?
Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against H5N1. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with anti-vaccine stances, could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there, could they withhold testing? I mean, that's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available so that at least it empowers state and local health officials and clinicians to do the right thing for their patients.
Dr. Wen, is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 52%. However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection. But the question is, we don't know what happens when bird flu affects more vulnerable individuals. People infected so far in the U.S. have been mainly farm workers who are working, presumably generally healthy, as opposed to what happens when you get to children, to pregnant women, to older individuals with chronic illnesses. We don't know how deadly, how dangerous bird flu is going to be for those individuals. And again, that's one more reason why we don't want it to spread and acquire more mutations.
What should be happening?
All right. How many times did that woman just say farmers? Okay, if there was one word she said more than any, it was farmers, besides the V word. Dude, I don't want to hear it any more than you. I can't stand to hear her voice. The way she says it. I can't stand none of it. It makes me want to get up and start kicking the screen. I see where this is going. Dude, I'm telling you. You've got to be on top of this. You've got to be prepared, man, to the best of your ability. Can't you see what's about to happen? They're going right after our farmers. This isn't a conspiracy. This isn't speculation. They are telling you from their mouth what they're doing. And you ain't got to wait. They're already made. They got millions already made and waiting. She also just told you the mortality rate is 52%. Do you even know what that is? And what that means? Wow, quantum. Wow, thank you so much. I don't know if I'll have a conference in 2025. The Bill Clinton voice, it's just going to have to come natural one of these times, man. But yes, quantum, we got to meet up in the flesh, and thank you so much for that huge super chat. Absolutely massive. I appreciate that to the fullest. Much love. Happy New Year. I keep trying to like it. It won't let me. Anyhow. Deep breath. It's kind of a surreal moment that we're here. That we're knee deep in this window that for months we warned about. And here we are, and what are they doing? They are literally pushing the bird flu on us full scale right now. Then you have the economic crap that's going to hit we're going to hit the debt ceiling, and they're going to have to do extraordinary measures just days before Trump gets in there. Okay? Like, this is not a good combination, man. Like, something huge is going down. You got mystery drones flying all over the place. Look, man, I want to have a conference this year. I want to have a get-together. I don't know if it's going to be a conference like that. I don't know. I just don't know. I got to get through this winter and survive it, first and foremost. That's the first thing on my plate. That happens, then I'll look towards summer for something. I don't know what it'll be, where it'll be, anything like that. Because I don't have it. I don't have the means to do much of anything at this moment. But hopefully that changes. Becky, thank you. And it says, such a clip from your Sonic TV YouTube channel with a clip showing this mutation was bioengineered. Aha, thank you. Yeah, and well, they've all said as much too. They've all said that, look, we've got the research on the bird flu. It's been done for years. This is a different animal. Like, yeah, they're right. They've told us over and over. They keep rolling these ladies out. They keep saying the same thing, different way, but it's the same thing. You know, if we still have a country, I don't know what's about to happen here. If you roll out a real deadly anything, you think that COVID was bad? You think that all that was bad? When real dead bodies, when people are looking out their window, down at the end of their neighbor's driveway, and they're carrying down another body, everyone's crapping themselves. They're freaking. They're geeking out. You're going nowhere near them. You need one of the pets to stray into your yard. You're that geeked out, you'll shoot it dead. Because this is going to be that deadly. And it's not even that deadly on the scale of how deadly they could make it. Just if it's a 3 from 1 to 10. Because, I mean, last time was nothing. There was no body stacked up, period. When you actually see this, when incinerators are pulling up in front of houses to burn people up, and all that is really happening, it's going to be the scariest thing in your life. It's going to be the things that make a generation. Like if people lived through the Great Depression, that's all they talked about for all their life. I lived through the Great Depression. This is going to be that. COVID would never be mentioned after this. It'd be like, what? What was that? If you did a deep dive on it and had a brain, you'd go back in time and you'd see, oh, they ran a huge beta test right before the real one. And they did. Bob, thank you for the comment. I seen a clip. Let me go over here and pull up my Twitter, my X. It's garbage. And let me show you a couple things. This is from a movie that came out in 2021. And do you know what the name of the movie is in case you all missed it? It's huge. Huge. Lockdown 2025. Did you miss this one? Lockdown 2025. Came out in 2021. It's a family sitting at the table, and I'm going to talk you through it here. I'm not going to play the clip because they'll probably hit it for some kind of strike. The whole family sitting here, and they're watching the TV, and he's waiting for the lottery to run. And all of a sudden, the TV goes into an emergency mode, and everyone's phones start to go off. And it brings up an emergency message, and it says, "This is not a test." Versus all the times in your life where you always heard, "This is a test," or "the emergency, bro." It says, "This is not a test." And it starts to tell them that something's happened, and it blacks out. It cuts out, okay? And what this whole thing is about is the real deal going into motion. The real event happening. And they showed you. They made a whole movie of it and everything. Just like Songbird 2023 was dropping the hints, all of it. I told you, Bill Gates said it clearly multiple times in 2020 when he was asked on film multiple times, "When's the next one? What's the next one?" And they gave a 5-year window. That brings you to 2025. I can do math pretty easy there. And I told myself, as soon as I figured that out, I told everybody, you better get ready. And I've spent my every waking moment of my life to get prepared for this moment. This is it. This is going to rock everything. This could rock the markets, the economy. This could bring everything. This could shut it all down. Why would it not? How could it not? How could something that starts dropping bodies, real deal, not? Remember what they did last time? They hit us with the bat soup and was like, "Look, you got to burn the bodies. All these people are missing in China. All these cell phone numbers ain't working. All these lies. They were being pushed." But they were also telegraphing to you what would really happen. And it never did happen. They were telling you that people were piled up at the end of driveways and that they were getting burned in the incinerators, telling you all that stuff. But it never happened. When it finally got here, you see what it really was. Okay? This next time is going to be the real deal, man. It's my fear. This lockdown 2025, it gives the emergency alert that this has gone into motion. And that all of a sudden, they're saying the grid's been attacked. The power goes out. And a kid jumps up from the table and he goes, "I know what this is. This is the Illuminati. This is blah, blah, blah." He says it. He said, because they've got to tell you. They have got to tell you the truth. They've got to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. It's part of the occult ritual. It's how it works, man. There's rules to the game. They've done it again. The movies is the easiest way to do it for them to get away with it. The Obamas put out the movie, Leave the World Behind, for crying out loud. All the same stuff, had the drones in it and all that stuff. You just wait. All these things are going to come together. They already are. But this is the biggest. The dude walks out the house. All the power's out, right? Do you know what that is? Does that look familiar at all? Do you know what that is? He stepped outside at night. Everything's blacked out. And this is what I've told you the whole time. That if an EMP hits, when everyone walks outside, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to look like a shining star or a sun or something in the sky. Boy, don't get yourself shot. It's above the. There's a countdown. That's also crazy. A countdown timer comes onto the TV, but this was very eerie to me that it showed the EMP. It's also in the shape of an eye. And you can also see there's a pyramid shape in the sky, in the backdrop. So it's an eye and a pyramid, and it's the EMP. It's showing you, it's telling you right there who's behind it. And he says it before he jumps up from the table.
Terrorist attack?
It's the Illuminati.
Junior!
See?
I'm telling you, look, population control, the FEMA
Sit.
coffins, it's the beginning of world genocide.
He says it. He says it. He tells you. They not only tell you, they give you their logo and their emblem, and they do it in the form of the EMP of the event that's going to bring it all down. Look, man. Look. I hope and I pray it's not an EMP. I don't see why they would do an EMP, because they could just pull the plug on everything and it'd be easier for them, to be honest. If you do an EMP, what you're looking for is just one thing and one thing only. It's the highest death count that you can achieve. If you shut down the power in this country and it was out for a month, you'd smell the bodies from miles away. Just from this. Not even from a bird flu, not even from any of that. Just from society breaking down. I mean, haven't you ever seen any of the shows or any of the simulations that they run and they put into motion? It's just a matter of days before all hell breaks loose. Usually in a simulation, the first day or two, it's like a party. You know, no one has anything. Nothing's working. So everyone treats it kind of like, okay, give it a day or so. And you know, we'll see what happens then. So that first 48 hours is critical. Most people are going to sit there, and who knows? But right after that 48-hour window is when panic sets in. And this is where it all begins. This is where everything we ever warned about and like planned against to try to not be caught in starts to happen. This is where people are out in the streets. They're roaming the streets. They're walking everywhere because vehicles don't work. And you got to remember, if an EMP hits, it's different than a cyber attack. See, a cyber attack, you can just pull the plug and you can shut the lights out and you can shut down the financials. You can do all these things. You can still bring it to a halt and control the people. And you can ultimately do what you want with them there. Versus the EMP that fries absolutely everything, all the infrastructure, all of everything, every device that was ever bought in this country, it's electronic, would be fried. Everything. Absolutely everything we fry in planes. As if it wasn't already bad enough, would be dropping out of the sky. And that would be one of the scariest things. And it would happen. And you couldn't stop it. The planes would start dropping out of the sky left and right. It would be horrific. It would all happen in an instant. As this thing explodes in the sky and looks like, it ended up looking just like it just showed. A light in the sky. Everything darkened. And just this light in the sky. So I'm just saying, isn't it kind of crazy how this lockdown's 2025 is connected in with an EMP? 2025, man. Just saying. You can't make this stuff up, man. Real deal stuff here. All right, out to my neck of the woods in another horrific story that I've got to report on. This is crazy. Last time I had to tell you that how a judge was caught up in like a brothel type style where he is shot and killed by a sheriff here out of Kentucky. Now we've got a situation where London, Kentucky police show up to a house late at night trying to serve a search warrant, and they raid the wrong home, reportedly looking for a stolen weed eater. And they shoot and they kill this man. This man didn't know what was going on. He gets up, 63-year-old Douglas Harless, father and grandfather, no criminal record whatsoever. He awakens to all these people, this ruckus, and he shows up with a gun drawn, and they kill him. So people are pissed off about this big time. Let's see if anybody protests for this white boy that's got murdered. I doubt it. But, yeah. It's ridiculous, this police crap. Kicking in the door and killing someone. Just imagine, it could be you. It could show up anywhere and do that. And just kill someone. This is a crazy one right here. And it is sad. R.I.P. 3 people die after eating poisoned cake. And the police look into it and look back and realize that the person that made the cake, her husband had died earlier of food poisoning, and they uncovered that basically this woman was putting arsenic in this food and feeding it to family members and killing them. This took place in Brazil. Yeah, this Tatiana Denise Silva dos Santos and Maldita Bernice Flores da Silva had passed away after eating this cake, and this Nuez Silva dos Anjos also passed away because it was arsenic. The arsenic's so deadly. But they busted this person. And on R.I.P. to these 2 men that went out, it would suck to have to die freezing to death. That's why I'm telling you, be prepared for this cold stretch that's coming through. This is the story of 2 men that just lost their lives looking for Sasquatch, Bigfoot, up in the Oregon wilderness. They did so on Christmas Eve. And they got caught out in an area. They got so cold that it overtook them. These guys were 37 and 59. They were in a remote forested area of Washington's Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. And they were believed to have succumbed due to exposure to the severe weather conditions and inadequate preparation for the harsh environment. So, yeah, man, just R.I.P., guys, you know. They have to die like that. I don't know. Just, things happen sometimes, man. Bad things happen. I mean, I've been out in some crazy situations. Weather turns, blink of an eye, it can be life or death. On the opposite of that, when I went into the Four Corners area in summertime years ago, we had to go in under the moonlight. I had to plan this all out months in advance, year in advance, just to get in there to get to the site we were trying to go to and check out. We had to get there before it got light. And as the sun started to rise, we had to be making our way out. Because if not, if we were caught out there any later, we were cooked to death. And it's the same here. If you're out in an area trying to do something and you didn't plan, this was the opposite extreme. They froze. So, you just got to have a plan, man, when you're going out there. And the elements can be something else, man, if you're not prepared. I know this firsthand, and it just sucks. RIP, guys. The homelessness epidemic explodes under the Biden-Harris regime. It's something that needs to be called out, pointed out big time. Their time is almost over, but, like, they need tried for treason and all this stuff. Everything that they did, tanking the economy, draining all of our reserves, everything that they've done. Bringing in all the hordes of immigrants that have invaded this place by the millions. Murderers, rapists, I mean, you name it, all of it. While at the same time spending all this money and sending it to Ukraine, left and right, to be laundered, when they can't spend no money here and help the people in, like, North Carolina, our veterans that are on the streets all across the country, our homeless, period, that have been a whole new class of homeless have hit the streets because of what's happened with all the jobs being wiped out, all this by design. They don't care. They want it this way. So, I mean, they need held accountable. We've got homeless all across the country. And as I reported last time, one froze to death in the streets, and it's happening all over. Dude, I'm telling you, with this cold front that's about to come in, you know how many people are going to die out there in the streets from exposure to this cold? Right here in the streets, because no one cares. This government surely don't care. They'll spend more money putting in concrete spikes than they would to put these guys in a warm place for a week or two so they survive. You know, at least through the weather. Something. They don't even try nothing. So, and I'm telling you, these people that are trying to survive this, everyday people, have you seen these videos? There's full camps of people now. Everyday people, everyday good people. They got kids, families. They're living out of cars, buses, SUVs, and they're staying wherever they can. Often have to move around. But I watched a group that was up in Canada, and it was cold. And man, just to get by up in, like, Saskatchewan, like up in Canada where it's cold, it was crazy. Like, the people leaned on one another, and, like, can you imagine you're out there and it's like -30, you're trying to survive in your vehicle, and then all of a sudden, like, whatever your heat source is goes out. You have got to get out and get out of there and get to a neighboring spot that has heat, or you're going to die. And those people, I seen it. It happened. It happened to a couple people that were filming it all, and they were like, look, and they ended up going to their neighbors, and their neighbors basically saved their life. They get through it just to stay in the warmth. So it's critical, man. All right, and speaking of deaths, been speaking of death here. 7-4. Jimmy Carter, 39th U.S. president. I gotta say, he hung in there. He didn't look good. He looked scary the past couple years. I wouldn't want to be rolled around looking like that. But he's passed at 100 years old. Yeah, man. Yeah, no one lives forever. To live to see 100 is pretty. You got a good one in. Became president, lived to see 100. I mean, yeah. You know, most people will never see that. All right, let's jump into the rest of the politics here. We have the lefties urging Congress to disqualify Trump in a last-ditch effort to keep him from taking office. And we knew that this was possible. We knew it. This whole thing. It all comes down to Kamala. Really, it does. And it's like, you can look at this as like one of two ways here. Like, God in the spirit out there, it has to have a sense of humor, because if this goes down this way, Kamala has to certify the election that she lost and put this man in there. So, I mean, that's just like, she's not going to be liking that. But she holds the power to pull a Mike Pence type deal from that position. See, Mike Pence should have done it. He should have not certified the election, but did. Like, she, in this instance, could do the opposite, even though she's supposed to. She could get up there and she could say whatever in front of the whole world and be like, I'm not doing it, and saying this or saying whatever. And then, you know what's crazy is simply by her not doing it makes her president. It's such a conflict of interest that I can't even believe that it comes down to that position of power to do it, because this situation can arise. And we've talked about it for months. We were talking about it before anyone else. And it's been brought up time and time again since then. And it can be all the way until the 20th. But it's like, let's just get this thing over with, man. We got like 3 weeks left. Wow, we're about to walk into 2025. Okay, so let me get an update on this. Let me see what time it is. 11:07. Damn. All right, well, we'll keep it pushing. Got a handful of things to touch on here and keep it pushing. Musk. He starts this whole thing, and I told you last time, I call it the Elon trap, with this H-1B visa thing, where everyone started fighting and going back and forth. Well, he said he would literally go to war, and like war with anyone over this. Like, he's like, you just do not understand. He told everyone out there to F themselves in the face over this whole thing. And it caused a huge divide. Well, then he softens his stance, and he's calling for a major reform in this whole thing. In that they should flip the script now and make it to where it's more expensive to hire overseas. It's more expensive than it is to hire here domestically. How he's going to do that, nobody knows, but I think he's deflecting on the whole thing because he blew this whole thing up. And what people was calling like a great divide amongst MAGA. And that it surely didn't make Trump happy. Couldn't have. But I don't know. This the whole thing. Seeing them all get up in arms about that when you got so many other things that they should be pissed off about that they don't even care about. It's just a quick update on Biden. Biden has been like the most underreported story of 2024. Obvious mental decline. He just keeps going down the tubes. And 3 weeks is all he's got left on the clock here in terms of presidency. And then, it's whatever. But this guy can go to the old folks' home. But I truly believe it's a dude in a mask. So Biden also says he thinks he could have beaten Trump if he stayed in the election. So now it's all this crap that like, oh, they ran Kamala, and now, Biden's like, no, I think I would have won it, And he's only saying that because, what happened last day. Just give him that. And this is the next man. You can see here by this America Fest straw poll showing what I've already told you. I mean, it's clear. It's been clear. They picked this guy, J.D. Vance, to take the torch from Trump. He is the overwhelming frontrunner for the Republican nominee for 2028. So that's going to be the man. Everything going into J.D. Vance, and he is going to be their man that they're going to push to be president for 8 years and get the whole thing behind him. So I told you, for this next 4 years, one of the biggest things for the Trump administration is going to be warming everybody up to him. Like, it's going to be nothing but making him look good the whole time. It's going to be sickening. The whole way. Just painting him as being this great, awesome guy. In every way that they can. They're trying to pass all that past that Trump energy onto him. Problem is this. Even if 4 years of doing all that and everything you could think of to try and make him look awesome, he's not Trump. He's never going to be Trump, and he will never carry that Trump energy. He won't. So it's going to take everything that they got, all 4 years, everything, to prime this. But we'll see. We'll see. He also has to run for him to work as the presidential candidate. They have to run a successful 4-year campaign. Like if the economy starts to come down and tank and any of that, like they have to navigate out of that successfully. Which I'm telling you right now, it's the Great Reset. They already have a plan and they're going to implement it. They're going to implement it in place. I done told you all this. When they can hold all your money hostage in the bank, when you can't get it out, they're going to pass along the digital dollar. And see, that's another thing. In EMP, it's like, they need this infrastructure to push their agenda and to get all the people on what they want. They want them on the digital. But if you really want to wipe everything out and truly have a great reset and reset it all, well, that'd be even the technology. But that would be just the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And looky here. If you did EMP it, and EMP wouldn't stop at the border, it would go into Canada, it would go into Mexico. And look, that leads you right back into the whole talk of a North American Union. If an EMP hit like that, what comes out of the ashes of that is probably a North American Union. Yep, and they get what they wanted the whole time. And the Amero, or something just like it, as we've always stated, will be the currency. There it is. All you got to do is bring it down. And they've had the plan for a long time. You just had to find a way to bring it down. Well, we're right there. Anyhow, J.D. Vance is going to be the man to guide the Republicans for the next 12 years. For the whole next decade, you're going to have to deal with J.D. Vance. You understand? All right. So, we have a man found on fire at Penn Station in New York. And welcome to the Underground, gal. Yeah, that's right. A woman was lit on fire last time and a cop walked right by it. Now, a man found on fire at Penn Station in New York. Okay? What's this? A man arrested after slashing a subway rider's neck in NYC. So they actually catch this guy. Multiple people getting burnt, just lit on fire, right there alive. This guy slashing someone's throat. Like, are you kidding me? You telling me you can't roll around packed? Look at this punk. This is crazy right here. This punk comes into this train that they know's about to leave, and they know how the train operates. They know they're in and out of these things every day, apparently. They know how long it takes when the bell rings, like before the doors start to shut, and when the doors do shut, how long before the train takes off, and all that. So this punk comes on there threatening everybody on the whole thing with a fire extinguisher. And this is one of the reasons that there's no fire extinguishers on the trains now, which is ridiculous. You should have them for safety. But no, because of punks like this, they just took them away. It's just ridiculous. But watch what he does here. Watch what he does. Imagine this is you in here, and this thing's taking off. And like whoever's driving this thing at the very front, they have no idea this is going on in the back. So it's just taking off like this.
Oh, you wanted it? You wanted it? You wanted it, bitch? You wanted it, bitch? Oh! Bro, you just hit that with a animal here, bro. What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah. Imagine being stuck in that, breathing that now because of this. You know, this is, it's craziness. It's getting out of hand in NYC. Look, NYC has got to be one of the people there treated me the most racist than any place I've ever been in my life. Like, I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot in my life. But in New York City, I had these people just stare us up and down. White people, you know. We were trying to go into this Italian restaurant. And I'll never forget, I had my drone in the air. Some lady came walking by and spat at my daughter. As I had this thing in the air, and my wife, you know, was going off, going nuts. And I'm trying to get this drone down. And it was like racism, pure racism. And I'm like, dude, what in the... Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. I experienced all that in NYC. So it was just like a bad vibe and energy and treatment. And look what you got here. Before, it was National Guard was sent into the subways. So I don't understand how all this stuff's still happening with National Guard deployed. But the Guardian Angels have announced they're going to the subways to do patrols because of all the crime. So this is a plus. Now, I tell you what, if the police start to mess with the Angels here or any other group like them whatsoever, if the mayor wants to come out and be like, no, you vigilantes need to go or you're going to get arrested. You need to stop. Like, dude, someone needs to check big time. You can't just lay down and have their minions. Dude, then the mayor, their job should be taken. They should be tried for treason right there. For telling you to lay down and not defend yourself while people get their necks slashed and burnt alive in the subway stations. It's ridiculous. So, I tell you what, man, I salute anyone that rises against this beast, any form and fashion. So, I mean, whoever it is, whatever it is, you know, however, they rise to the occasion to save the people out here. I don't care if it's Crips and Bloods out here, if they're saving people. All right, let me jump to the next one. DEWs, direct energy weapons. Now, when you hear that, it's, when I hear that, I think of several different things. This is one of them. But the first thing I think of is a laser beam, a weapon. And I think of all the blue roofs, all the blue stuff, and everything that we've talked about. We talk about Maui. We talk about how the cattle herd in North Texas and all that was hit. All these areas, and how blue isn't affected by the wavelength of laser. And you can see that in the demonstration videos, where they hit different cloths that are different colors. And then when you get to the blue, the blue isn't hit. When you see a whole line of traffic that got torched and every single car is like melted, but the blue one is sitting there not even harmed. Dude. Some things you've just got to pay attention to. It's obvious that that's the case. And then when it came to all the blue roofs, there is something to it. But dues also come, take your cigarettes, in the form of a weapon you can put on someone and like kill them and cause sickness and illness. Now, you may recall they were saying U.S. diplomats were going down to Cuba, and they were staying in these hotels and they were getting sick and ill, and they didn't know why, and they were calling it Havana syndrome. Well, they're saying that these people were being hit with direct energy weapons, and the CIA whistleblowers were revealing all this, saying that no, this is straight up weaponry, and that dues, basically direct energy weapons, were being used on humans in these situations. And this blows the whole lid on it and exposes that this is a weapon that can be used anywhere, at any time, and if you're out in the public, like staying in the public domain, and in a building like this, it could even be in an apartment building, not just hotels. Anywhere that they can get up close to and they can target and get a beam on you, if you're not like tucked into a property where they can't like get their beam on you, if you're anywhere out in the open, you're fair game. This is crazy. And especially if you're downtown, anywhere like that. They could be in the room right next door, rent it if you're the target, and just hit you through the wall, and you wouldn't even know. You just start feeling bad and feel like you're dying or whatever. That's what was happening to these people. Getting fried. This is crazy. They've admitted that someone is out there using dues on people, and it's part of a tactic. So, these things aren't conspiracy, man. They're real deal, and this one just gave confirmation to it. Mexico develops an app to aid its citizens in the U.S. trying to face deportation. Yeah, so they can notify family members and all them. And basically, they're describing it as like a panic button that, like, I don't know, it's like a communication to where, I don't know, these people can get kidnapped and whisked away to some camp like the ones they're building, and no one ever hear from them again. There seems to be a real concern about that. Now, why would that be? No one seemed to care about them before. Didn't care about none of this before. Didn't care about none of this before. Now all of a sudden you care. Like, and it has to do with technology that they can track people with. Like, well, the sheriffs are saying that they're going to help in this whole roundup thing in terms of this mass deportation. So this is kind of sketch to me because, again, if they're jumping on with Homan and all them, rounding all these people up, and this whole thing shifts to bird flu, and it becomes rounding up bird flu people, then they've already got the sheriffs involved, which is not good, with the feds, which is not good because the sheriff should be like your last line of defense in your state against a tyrannical fed. So 249 sanctuary cities have been put on notice that their officials can and will go to prison if they try to stop immigration enforcement. So when Homan and all these people come in there, DHS and the military and strike teams through all these cities, over 249 cities in the United States, this is going to be happening in. You know what I'm telling you? I've told you. I've warned you. This place is about to turn into a war zone. People don't even see it. Like, you should be preparing for that, fortifying for that, preparing your whole future for that. I have. As soon as this whole thing goes hot, which apparently is going to happen on day one of Trump's administration, there's going to be no turning back. Oh, and let me jump into some other news here real quick that's huge. The U.S. Treasury has been hacked by China, and they stole documents. Major incident. I mean, this deserves its own piece on it, its own video. And DHS in panic mode because of how deep China has penetrated into telecommunications in this country. I told you before, they've gotten all the way into the DOJ wiretap, which is insane. Insane. How do they do that? How do they get that far? If we're compromised, we're screwed at this point. Straight up. They're in, so they can't get them out. They cannot get them out. They're tracking everything. They're tracking everyone. We are compromised, I'm telling you. They've got thousands of acres right next to all of our military bases, the Chinese do. And they've got millions of men that have just slipped in here like a Trojan horse. Like, we are screwed. This is a setup. This is a setup. This is a setup. And they can always look back and they can just blame it on the Biden regime. But, I mean, if you're not going to try them for treason and everything else, then what's it matter? Right here, the U.S. expands cyber countermeasures because they're saying the list of victims is growing. It's just growing bigger. They're not saying exactly who in all these situations, but it's all the major companies. And they've already told you they're going after politicians, major players, even targeting Trump. So everyone out there, if they're in there and they can't get them out, that means they're probably tracking them. Any one of us. Thank you, Becky. Oh, man. Well, he has a voice. You know, he could say, he can state his thoughts is my concern there. Look at this one. A suspected Chinese spy is a fiance of a California councilwoman. Oh, man. They're everywhere. The Chinese spies have been popping up all over the place. Everywhere. I'm talking everywhere. More than anyone else from any other country. They're everywhere. The Chinese are absolutely everywhere. Hell, that lady I just told you about the bird flu that was sitting there talking, she was Chinese. All right, so Biden, again, unveils $5.9 billion they're sending to Ukraine. It doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Boatloads. And Russia says they're not satisfied with Trump's proposal to end the war in Ukraine. So they're not happy. They're not satisfied with it. They're rejecting it. They're saying that you need to come with something better than what you're saying, Mr. Prince of Peace. That they're not having it. They're basically saying that, well, Trump's saying, look, we're going to have Ukraine postpone joining NATO for at least 20 years. And then we're going to have a military envoy come in and oversee the peace process in Ukraine from like UK and Europe. And Russia's like, no, you're not doing that. And thank you, Heidi. Russia's like, no, you're not doing that. You're not bringing military anything up closer under the guise of peace. And no, like they're rejecting all of it. So Trump keeps saying he can do all these peace deals. He keeps saying a lot. Well, he's flip-flopped. He said he was cutting off the funding. So I'm going to start right here for all you Trumpers or anyone out there listening. It just turns a cheek whenever this dude flip-flops on something. All right, he's done it. This is Mr. Hillary for prison, but then didn't put her in prison, let me remind you. Mr. Warp Speed. He said he was cutting off the funding. He's flat, that's what it came out of his mouth. He's like, we'll end it in day one. We're going to stop all the funding. Well, it's not. It says it right here. He plans to continue the funding to Ukraine. What in the is that? How can you even? Like, is no one paying attention? Is no one even from that side, Trump's side, going to hold him accountable? That's sickening. It's gross. It's appalling. You better hold him accountable. He's going to get led by the nose blindly by your Gentile Messiah. It's garbage. So he's already lied. He bold-faced lied. And he's not even in office yet. So just, you don't believe it? Look it up. Gosh, man. People, man, act like this dude does no wrong, does no evil, when it's clearly the opposite here in the open. You don't sit there and say one thing, and before you're even sworn in, flip-flop on it. Why would he do that? Well, he's going to continue the money laundering going into Ukraine. You think the establishment's going to pass that up at all? I was thinking he was going to end it for real, because last time Ukraine faded away under his watch. But under his own admission, the funding's not going away. If that does not happen, it does not end. Okay? He made it seem like he was going to come in here, cut the funding, and it's done. It's done. It's not the case. And thank you, cigarettes. Happy New Year's. I'm just saying. Just giving you the update. Russia surrounds a vital Ukrainian stronghold after attacking the power grid. I need to say that again. Attacking the power grid and has them surrounded. Like Ukraine's just getting their ass handed to them left and right. And it's so bad that they're just letting... Well, Russia now is even taking losses. But they're sending North Korean troops in, and they're getting slaughtered. They're just getting wiped out. And the United States is like, man, they're like expendables, which is, it's sickening. They're all just getting slaughtered on the front line. I watched the footage. It's sick. And these people getting killed in Syria every day. Every day, people getting killed by this new group that came in there. It's absolutely sickening. I mean, this murder, cold-blooded murder, just right there, just in every way you could think of. And this is backed by the West. But the West wants to sit there and be like, oh, we didn't back it. But, oh, yes, you did. This is all your players and every single thing. And you're sitting there watching it. And it's all your buddies. You're just sitting there on the sideline acting like you're not a part of it. That's all that's happening. Looky here. Zelensky reaches out to the new leader of Syria and says, we have a lot in common. We got commonality. Let's come together. And then come to find out, Zelensky and Ukraine were sending a whole bunch of aid to this group in Syria that did this whole sweep, that whole military sweep, where Syria packed their bags and ran. Basically, and Assad ran. Right? Zelensky was part of that. Does anybody realize that? This is a show. Do you realize who this goon on the right is? He's a CIA asset. This Jolani. He sure is. Don't let the beard fool you. Okay? He sure is. It's a stage. The world is a stage, man. And then even this goon, the new intelligence chief for Syria, is a UN designated terrorist. So, I mean, this is garbage. And yeah, so much for a liberated Syria. Jolani says it will take 4 years to hold elections. So they're just rolling up in there. Israel, in the meantime, this is the real masters, and you know it. This is the guys that are doing everything. They're creeping up in anywhere they want. They took over the Golan Heights, right? Who's going to tell them not? Not even the UN can stop them at this point. All right, they got international criminal warrants on Netanyahu's head. They can't get him. All right, they're attacking UN posts. Are you kidding me? They basically overthrew the one on top of Mount Hermon, took over the whole top of the Golan, said it's theirs forever. Okay? So who do you think was behind all this? What's this say? Who's pounding Damascus right now as I speak? Who? Israel. They're pounding it. Right? Guess what else they're doing? Even though it's supposed to be a ceasefire, it's supposed to be peace. That's not how the Mossad works. They scream peace, have you thinking peace, and then they shoot you and kill you. Okay? What are they doing? Israel moves deeper into southern Lebanon despite the ceasefire. So they're just taking over whatever, just like they always do. They're going wherever, all over the place, rolling their tanks into all these fronts, and they told you they were going to do it. They said they were going to 7 fronts. And this isn't even 7. Like, we're not even to 7 yet. So there's other fronts that they're going to open up. I'm telling you, man, this is World War. Everybody waiting for some nuke to go off. When you've got all this going, it's a World War by definition. And Germany says it has no defense to Russian hypersonic ballistic missiles. And they don't, outside of a laser that they would have to nail it with at perfect, and have these lasers, if they miss anything that's behind the laser, like a plane in the sky, a bird, anything that gets hit with, it's going to get fried. That's the problem with the lasers. And they have to be aimed upward. They can't be anywhere down where it can hit the land or the mountains or anything. It's going to kill people, innocent people, things like that. Certain weapons can only be used in certain ways. And no one has demonstrated that they can stop one of these Mach 9 hypersonic missiles. No one has yet. So until we see proof of it, they can, which is scary because it means we can't. You know, everyone just says, "Oh, we got this, and we can do this, and we can do that." Dude, you better. World's a stage, man. Be thinking it can't happen. You get left in the dark. What's this? Japan and the U.S. citing a rising nuclear threat on the world stage is a reason that they're coming together and strengthening their alliance in the area around the South China Sea and the shipping lanes. Do you know that the Panama Canal, that China's got a huge port there that we sold for $1 and are getting screwed over on now? If China controls that Panama Canal, like, we're done in terms of everything. Like, we have to have control of that. That's why Trump was saying all these things. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he does on some of these fronts, especially the Panama Canal, because it's so vital. It was basically, I mean, it's the spot that all the goods go to and through. You got to go all the way down and around through the Drake Passage around South America. If not, or up through the Arctic. You know, so it's critical point, especially when it comes to wartime and it comes to things moving around the planet. Just saying. So, brings me to some final thoughts here for this evening and for the year. Boy, oh boy, the time has flown by. I mean, it's just crazy, man. Yes, and thank you, Uncommon. You're right, my brother. When Jesus said, not one stone will be left unturned. So, without a doubt, it's already prophesied, even by Yeshua, by Jesus, that Israel will be rocked. Man, yeah, much love to everybody out there. I just, you know, it's just crazy how fast this whole year's went. It just went by. Like, it's gone with the wind. I mean, all these years. I suspect it's not going to slow down. It's only going to speed up from here. 2025. Here we are on the doorstep of it. All you can hope is that it's a better year and that the better things happen. But in this old world, I've come to realize there's so many dark energies and entities that the test has truly got to be to walk righteous and get out of here, to weed through it. Why would it be propped up with so much evil like this, so much temptation, and designed that way? Well, it's testing. It's truly a test. All of it is. It's a test in every aspect. So let's never forget that. Man, it's hard to believe. Here we are, end of the year. Another one in the bag, literally the last show of the year. Next time you hear my voice, God willing, will be next year. Be on Wednesday, on the 1st, for the first show of next year. And that's the plan. If you guys are out there celebrating for New Year's, be safe. And all that good stuff. Yeah, and thank you, D. White. Much love. Thank you, my brother. Hope all is good. And Happy New Year, just all in all. Just be safe out there, you know? Got that ball drop coming up. A compounded time frame is how I see it. It's like, man, it's like you've got one big crazy window that we're in, but then there's like crazier windows of craziness and madness within it. It's like so much going on, like from here on. That I just pray that we can get all the way to an inauguration and through it smoothly, without all hell breaking loose. And for some reason, I just don't think that that's going to happen. I'm a realist, man. I see too many cards on the table, and the window is ripe for it. I think I need to go check some of these other charts, like the heavens, see what's in retrograde and all this other stuff, because that means something to them. It may not mean nothing to you, but it definitely does. These lunatics running everything. But all right, guys, I'm going to sign off on that note for the year. Again, much love. God bless. Check in daily on X and here on YouTube for stuff that I'm posting. And again, I thank you guys for always joining me for the shows. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you for all the support out there, for all the super chats. Quantum, everybody that's came through tonight. Fish Sticks, Cindy, Crystal coming through, Jennifer, Heidi, John, Deanne, Jay from the Ville, Guam, all y'all, man. I appreciate it more than you know. Much love. God bless. Again, Happy New Year. Stay safe out there. Look to see you guys on the next one. Yeah. Just the underground. Been Dabu 7. Much love. Legendary Eon. Legendary. Thank you so much for all your support. For real. Much love. God bless. send prayers out there for you, God. For anyone else that needs them. Much love, Pure Bloods.